This video is about a backpack and day hike to Bob Bald, a grassy bald off the Chirahilla Skyway.
The Chirahilla Skyway, which is the route to our trailhead, rivals 441 over the Smokies, climbs up and over the mountains and from Tellico Plains to Robbinsville, North Carolina, and provides some great views. Here I'm pulling up for the first stop, and way out there's the Tennessee Valley. Closer in are the foothills of the Appalachians, and the Chirahilla Skyway continues on up the mountain up that way.
The Chirahilla Skyway is a wonderful drive as it goes up and across and around the mountains over into North Carolina. And it's a long one, 43 miles altogether, completed in 1996 after 34 years of construction. And at the North Carolina-Tennessee state line, you end up at Beach Gap, shown here, and the trailhead for the Bob's Bald Trail. The plan was for Tommy and me to hike in around 2 miles, set up camp, and then day hike up to the top of Bob's Bald. The only problem was we didn't know the condition of the old roads we were going to use and whether they were really passable or not. Here's the beginning of the trail from the Chirahilla Skyway at Beach Gap. Here's Tommy admiring a big rock along the trail. And here we are at camp in a cove down below Cold Spring Gap. This is a map of our route for the day hike. The old roads follow the red line and you go up the top of Bob's Bald. Both before and after camp, we saw lots of flowers, bee balm, the redlands, black-eyed Susans of some sort, I guess, and then lots more bee balm. We saw more of those, both red and white, than anything else. But down around our camp and on the day hike, we also saw lots of white rhododendron. Well, we learned pretty quickly that the old roads were no longer maintained, as reflected by these and lots of other blowdowns that we went around, across, or under in a few cases, I guess. Here's a big log right over the trail that Tommy's standing on, and a selfie where the trail turns into a blackberry patch, and Tommy making his way through a real thicket. But ultimately, we come out on Bob's Bald, a wonderful grassy bald, over 5,000 feet. Great campsites. There's water nearby in 2 locations, conifers and grass, and unfortunately part of it's growing up, but still not too bad. And here's a couple of photos of Tommy and me up on the top of Bob's Bald, or really nearby. From the ball, we took the trail back down to camp, and here's a couple of pictures of Tommy first cooking dinner that night, and then the next morning with his what he calls ninja suit on.
Well, I'm finishing up a backpack 2-day overnight backpack with Tommy Pritchard. I'm standing in Cold Springs Gap, and which is back that way, comes from Beach Gap on the Chirahilla Skyway. Tommy and I camped near here last night, and then we did an off-trail hike on an old road that's totally grown up to Bob's Bald. That goes off way out in there and circles back around up to Bob's Bald. There's the trail from the Gap going up that way to Bob's Bald. There's the trail going out to Fodderstack Ridge, Far Gap, and this is of course Cold Springs Gap, and there's the trail going down to Sitico Creek down there. As mentioned, that whole road really comes in from Beach Gap. It used to be open. I drove my Mustang here way back in the 70s and was exploring before this was wilderness protected. It was actually, they were doing logging here back then. But we've come a long way and got some incredible protected areas here now. So now we're heading out. We did about 6 miles on the day hike yesterday, and 2 miles to camp, and 2 miles out today.